Have you ever wondered where Europeans truly originated? What do the ancient pages of the Bible reveal about their origins and journey? Join us as we uncover a historical mystery shrouded by time, where mythology, historical events, and faith intertwine to create the story of an entire continent's origin. This is not just a story of the past, but a legacy of the present and the future. Don't forget to hit like to support the channel. Follow so you won't miss any exciting discoveries, and leave your thoughts in the comments below. Let's begin this journey of exploration now. Europe, a vast continent with a history spanning thousands of years, is home to a multitude of nations and diverse peoples, from Germany, Austria, Poland, Hungary, France, and Italy, to Romania and many others. But did you know that the Bible, the sacred book of Christianity, does not only address spiritual matters but also provides data related to the origins of European peoples? Specifically, chapter 10 of Genesis, known as the Table of Nations, records the names of ancient ancestors who are now considered the progenitors of many peoples around the world, including Europe. According to the biblical text, after the Great Flood, Noah's 3 sons, Shem, Ham, and Japheth, became the ancestors of all nations on earth. Among them, Japheth is regarded as the patriarch of the peoples who migrated northward and westward, spanning the regions of Europe. Chapter 10 lists the sons of Japheth, including Gomer, Magog, Madai, Javan, Tubal, Meshech, and Tiras, who are considered the founders of various peoples and nations. For example, Gomer is linked to the Sumerians, the ancestors of certain ethnic groups in Eastern Europe and Germany, while Javan is believed to be the forefather of the Greeks, one of the greatest civilizations in human history. Many scholars have studied this connection, particularly how the Bible describes the geographical and cultural characteristics of Japheth's lineage. Dr. Bill Cooper, in his study After the Flood, writes, "The Bible does not merely provide the names of ancestors, but also suggests their regions of habitation and cultural influence. Modern European peoples still bear traces of these lineages." After the Flood, Cooper, 1995. Interestingly, the Greeks and Macedonians mentioned in historical and mythological texts are often considered direct descendants of Javan. Ancient Greek culture, spanning philosophy, art, and science, profoundly influenced Western civilization, a testament to the significance of the connection between biblical lineages and historical reality. Furthermore, some historians even suggest that Magog, another son of Japheth, might be associated with the Scythians, a nomadic people who once controlled vast regions across Europe and Asia. These records indicate that the Bible is not just a religious book, but also contains rich historical insights into the origins of various peoples. From this perspective, we can explore how the connections between ancient European peoples and biblical figures form a fascinating subject, raising new questions about the intersection of faith, history, and cultural identity. Based on biblical texts and ancient historical records, Japheth, one of Noah's 3 sons, is regarded as the ancestor of European peoples. This view is not only recorded in the Bible but also supported by Semitic texts, ancient genealogical traditions, and Jewish interpretations. Japheth, referred to as the father of the Japhethites, has a name imbued with meanings such as beautiful, pale, expansion, or procreation, symbolizing the remarkable growth and territorial spread of his lineage across Europe. These meanings signify not only geographical dispersion but also the cultural and demographic impact of Japheth's descendants throughout human history. Notably, the connection between Japheth and European peoples is not only confirmed through historical texts, but also reflected in modern linguistic studies. Many linguists have found that European languages, including English, German, Russian, Ukrainian, and others, belong to a language family known as Indo-European. The term Japhethite languages is often linked to Japheth's name, indicating a connection between the biblical ancestors and the linguistic development of European peoples. Scholars like Dr. David Rohl suggest that the Table of Nations in Genesis chapter 10 is not just a mythical story but a historically significant document. Rohl asserts, These genealogies provide a reliable ancient map, showing how nations were formed and dispersed after the flood. Legend, The Genesis of Civilization, 1998. This highlights that, despite its religious nature, the Bible serves as a rich source of historical insights. Further examination of Japheth's descendants provides a deeper understanding of his role in shaping European culture and languages. From the Celts and Slavs to the Germanic peoples, Japheth's progeny left behind monumental cultural and historical legacies. This strengthens the notion that the Bible, aside from its spiritual significance, also contains invaluable information about the origins and evolution of ancient civilizations. Thus, studying Japheth and his descendants not only offers a clearer view of Europe's origins, but also opens up fascinating connections between history, language, and religion. This topic engages not just theologians but also modern historians and archaeologists, offering a comprehensive picture of the relationship between ancient myths and historical reality. In ancient times, the Israelites referred to European peoples using terms such as Japhethites or Javanites, particularly to describe the Greek regions. The term Javanites comes from Javan, Japheth's son, as clearly noted in Genesis. Javan is regarded as the ancestor of the ancient Greeks, and the Bible meticulously lists his descendants, including Elisha, Tarshish, Kittim, and Dodanim. These names represent not only individuals, but also ethnic groups or specific geographical regions, providing insights into the origins of many European peoples. Now let's delve into Japheth's descendants and their historical significance. Before we continue, don't forget to hit the like button and share this video with your friends and family to discover more fascinating knowledge. Japheth, one of Noah's 3 sons, had 7 sons: Gomer, Magog, Madai, Javan, Tubal, Meshech, and Tiras, along with grandsons such as Gomer's children, Ashkenaz, Riphath, and Togarmah, and Javan's children, Elisha, Tarshish, Kittim, Dodanim. Each of them is considered the ancestor of different ethnic groups, closely linked to the history and culture of Europe. Ashkenaz, ancestor of the Germanic peoples. Ashkenaz, the son of Gomer and grandson of Japheth, is identified as the ancestor of the Germanic peoples. The name Ashkenaz is also used by the Jewish community to refer to the land of the Germans and other Germanic regions. Particularly, the Ashkenazi Jews have maintained this tradition by calling Germany and related regions Ashkenazic, reflecting the view that the ancient Germanic peoples originated from Ashkenaz. This is an interesting detail that has been passed down in Jewish culture for centuries. Riphath, ancestor of the Celtic peoples. Riphath, another son of Gomer, is considered the biblical ancestor of the Celtic peoples. According to ancient interpretations and the consensus of the Irish people, who are regarded as direct descendants of the Celtic peoples, Riphath played an important role in forming the Celtic tribes, including peoples scattered throughout Europe. This shows the connection between Japheth's lineage and the great civilizations of ancient Europe. Madai, ancestor of the Aryan peoples. Madai, one of Japheth's 7 sons, is seen as the ancestor of the ancient Aryan or Iranian peoples. According to the Bible and historical records, peoples such as the Medes, Parthians, and ancient Persians all trace their origins back to Madai. The name Madai is associated with the Medes, Medo, one of the prominent peoples in the Iran region during ancient times. These peoples played an important role in the region's history and had a profound impact on its culture, religion, and politics. Tubal and Meshech, ancestors of the Slavic peoples. Tubal and Meshech, 2 other sons of Japheth, are considered the ancestors of the Slavic peoples, including Russians and Ukrainians. Many scholars agree that the land of Gog and Magog, mentioned in biblical prophecies, refers to the territories that are now Russia and Ukraine. These prophecies, which appear in the books of Ezekiel, Daniel, and Revelation, often refer to the role of Japheth's descendants in apocalyptic events. This adds to the historical and religious significance of Tubal and Meshech in studies of biblical genealogy. Magog, a symbol in prophecy. Magog, one of Japheth's sons, is not only considered the ancestor of the Scythian peoples and the East European region, but also mentioned in biblical prophecies. Magog is often depicted as a significant figure in apocalyptic events, especially in the Book of Revelation. His role in history and theology highlights the connection between the Bible and the peoples of Eastern Europe. The descendants of Japheth not only reflect the development and expansion of European nations, but also offer a unique perspective on how the Bible is linked to world history. Names like Ashkenaz, Riphath, Madai, Tubal, and Meshech are not just biblical figures. They represent ethnic groups that played a pivotal role in shaping the history and culture of Europe. Studying these genealogies not only deepens our understanding of the origins of various nations, but also illuminates the Bible's role as both a historical and religious document, connecting ancient history with modern culture. Through the accounts in Genesis, Japheth's lineage has left a profound mark on the human map, from the Germans to the Slavs, from the Celtic tribes to the ancient Persians. Understanding the descendants of Japheth provides us with a comprehensive view of European history, as well as a bridge to connect cultural and religious legacies from the past to the present. The origins of European ethnic groups are not just based on genetics, but are deeply interwoven with biblical stories. One of the most notable biblical figures is Tiras, who is seen as the ancestor of the ancient Italians, linked through the Atrans, a group considered crucial to the formation of ancient Italy. The Atrans played an essential role in the history of the Italian peninsula, especially as they combined forces with other Japhethic tribes to form the ancient Roman civilization. The Romans were influenced not only by the Atrans, but also by peoples related to Javan, one of Japheth's sons. Javan, the son of Japheth, is identified in the Bible as the direct ancestor of the Greek peoples. However, Javan's influence extends beyond ancient Greece, reaching other nations with strong cultural, linguistic, and historical ties to the Greeks. This reflects the expansion and influence of Javan's descendants across the Mediterranean and Europe. The sons of Javan, Elisha, Tarshish, Kittim, and Dodanim, represent different geographic regions and peoples, from the Aegean Islands to farthest Mediterranean territories. An interesting aspect of studying Japheth's lineage is the linguistic similarities between the names of his sons and grandsons. Though recorded in different languages such as Greek, Hebrew, and Aramaic, these names maintain notable similarities. This can be explained through the event at the Tower of Babel, described in the Bible as the place where various languages emerged as a punishment for human pride and wickedness. This event led to the scattering of humanity, but also left traces of an initial unity through linguistic and cultural connections. Among Japheth's descendants, Tiras holds a special place due to his connection with the peoples of the Italian peninsula. While there are no direct records confirming the relationship between Tiras and the Romans, the Atrans, tribes residing in central and northern Italy, are believed to have originated from Tiras. These peoples, combined with Greek influence through Javan, helped create the rich cultural and historical legacy of ancient Rome. The interconnectedness of Japheth's descendants from Tiras to Javan offers not only a unique insight into the origins of European nations, but also helps to explain the linguistic, cultural, and historical diversity that characterizes the region. This study serves not only as a historical exploration, but also illuminates biblical narratives, linking them to cultural practices and the development of major civilizations throughout human history. According to biblical tradition, there is an ancient story about the existence of a common language called the Adamite language, spoken by the first descendants of Adam and Eve for communication. This language symbolized the unity and closeness of humankind before the Tower of Babel event, where languages were scattered. However, today's world showcases an astounding linguistic diversity, with thousands of different languages, each carrying its own unique history and evolution. A clear example of this linguistic evolution is modern Greek, which originates from ancient Greek and has been in use since the classical era. Over millennia, the language has undergone numerous changes in grammar and vocabulary, eventually evolving into the Greek language we know today. Elisha, one of Javan's sons, is regarded as the ancestor of the ancient Greeks. In the Bible, Elisha is identified as the father of the primitive Greek peoples. His name bears a remarkable similarity to the word Hellas, an ancient term used to refer to Greece, and this similarity exists in English, Hebrew, and particularly in Greek. Elisha, Japheth's grandson, represents not just a people, but also the beginning of a civilization that had a profound influence on the culture, philosophy, and language of Europe. Tiras, another of Javan's sons, attracts particular attention in biblical studies. Tiras is described as the ancestor of the Tiresian people, the first inhabitants of the Iberian Peninsula. The Spanish and Portuguese are considered descendants of Tiras, although there has been some intermingling with Semitic peoples and other Japhethic lines. Tiras remains seen as their principal ancestor. The Bible links the Iberian Peninsula with Tarshish, an ancient resource-rich region mentioned in the Phoenician sea voyages. The name Tiras and the biblical descriptions of ancient Iberia reflect a strong connection, emphasizing the Tiresian role in history. Kittim, Javan's third son, is associated with the island of Cyprus in the Bible. The ancient people of Cyprus, or those related to the eastern Mediterranean, are viewed as descendants of Kittim. In biblical texts, Kittim not only represents a specific people, but also symbolizes a strategically important and prosperous area within the Mediterranean region. This is particularly significant in the historical context, when Cyprus became a central hub for trade and cultural exchange in the ancient world. Javan's fourth son Dodanim is a controversial figure in biblical studies due to differences in how his name has been transcribed and recorded. Some scholars believe this name may have been miswritten, and he might have been known as Rodanim or Dorm. Nevertheless, Dodanim is often regarded as the ancestor of the Dardanians, an ancient Trojan people mentioned in Greek epic poetry. The Dardanians, who lived in northwestern Asia Minor, played a key role in the Trojan War and were immortalized in Homer's Iliad. An interesting feature of Javan's lineage and his sons is the connection between their names and ancient languages. Despite the distinct languages developed by the Japhethic, Semitic, and Hamitic peoples following the Babel event, names like Elisha, Kittim, and Dodanim still bear traces of the original linguistic unity. This not only highlights the deep connections between ancient peoples, but also reflects how languages evolve over time, shaped by migration, cultural interactions, and other historical influences. Studying the descendants of Javan and related peoples offers more than just insight into European history. It provides a deeper understanding of the cultural and linguistic evolution of humanity. From the ancient Greeks to the Tiresians and Dardanians, each lineage contributes to the rich and diverse legacy of the world we know today. We've explored the origins of European nations through the lens of the Bible, uncovering fascinating stories about Japheth's sons and the connections between these peoples and their ancestors. We hope this video has helped you gain a deeper understanding of the history and heritage of European peoples through the biblical perspective. Thank you for watching this video. If you found it helpful and interesting, please don't forget to like and share it with your friends so they can also discover these insights. Praise God for the knowledge and guidance we've received. Wishing you a peaceful day, and we look forward to seeing you in the next video.